Hello, I'm making this video here to talk about what's going on in the news right now. I don't know if the news and what's happening with Obama is really leading to a moment of the apocalypse, but I mean, if we look at things in a general sense, you can see that Obama's power is slowly reducing, and he's leading the country into anarchy and chaos. One sign that his power has gone down is, for example, you can see there's this test of wills between Obama and Joe Arpaio, particularly with Eric Holder and Joe Arpaio have been facing off for about 3 years now. And recently, about 4 months ago, Eric Holder had not a heart attack, but he had some problem with his heart, and he had to he was taken to a hospital. So obviously, I mean, he's in a job where probably he has a lot of nervous stress, but things are getting to him. And another thing was that about 1 year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, Representative Darrell Issa, who has an inquiry, he's making inquiries. He's congressional inquiries. They do all kinds of investigations, and he held Eric Holder in contempt of court, or in contempt of their commission. So basically, he was held in contempt of Congress. So that was really a watershed, and you can see that the government is getting very nervous with this the Bundy Ranch. That didn't turn out well at all for them, and that was really a setback for Harry Reid and the Democrats. And so those things are kind of slowly adding up. That Obama is not, his power is in question. And then there was also the Lois Lerner, when she made a deposition for Representative Darrell Issa, and he's threatening to hold her in contempt of Congress too. That was the IRS inquiry. So anyways, given that things are going downhill for Obama, I'm making this article now in this video. This video will be in this article, where I'm bringing some good news to people in all of this bad news with Obama and everything. I'm bringing people good news, and that's I've been, for about 6 years since Obama was elected, I have been saying that Obama is the Antichrist, because there was this miracle which happened. The miracle was that the lottery in Chicago, in Obama's hometown, drew 666. And so here you can see here. We can see here the lottery draw. You see here the lottery draw. This is in Illinois. You see Illinois, Chicago. The lottery draw was 666. You can see that here on the screen. 666. So you can see it here too. See, evening pick, November 5, 2008, 666. And that is in Chicago. You can see here that this is the same picture, and this is in Chicago. You can see here. You can get, it's written here, you can get the Illinois lottery winning numbers sent to you. So this is the page for the Chicago Illinois lottery. The number is 666. I'm not making this up, people. Here you can see it here too. I bought the newspaper from Chicago, and you can see it here. This is the newspaper from November. This is November 6th. This is the lottery here. This is the blow up of this one. It's the blow up of the same picture. And so so what I'm saying is that this lottery draw of 666 on the day after Obama's election, on November, the lottery draw was on November 5th, and Obama was elected November 4th. So that's a miracle, because the statistics for that to happen, for example, to have a lottery draw 666 and it be at the same place as the most powerful man in the world is elected, that is statistically impossible, because if you take all the lotteries of America, that it happened in precisely the city where the man is elected, that's a freak chance, because there are a lot of lotteries all over America, and it's not written in the Bible that it's going to be in a lottery. It's just that Obama was elected, and it just so happened that the lottery drew 666. It just happened that it was in the city where he was elected, and it wasn't just any day. So there are two things which come together: the city, which is the city of the man who's elected as the world's most powerful man, and at the same time as he is elected. So that's just like a freak chance. If you take the most powerful, to be the Antichrist, you have to be the most powerful man in the world. So if you take the presidents of the United States since the last 100 years, America has been the most powerful country in the world for let's say 100 years. That's wrong, actually, because England was the most powerful country in the world until 1940. So from 1940 to today, that is 70 years. So if we say in the last 70 years, the U.S. presidents, when they were elected, was there 666 that came up like in the lottery, like here? Did that happen? That didn't happen. They were elected, and they were presidents, and they were presidents for 4 years and for 8 years. And nobody ever said, hey, they have a curse of 666 upon them. But with Obama, he has the curse of 666 upon him, because the lottery drew 666 that day. So Obama has everything to be the Antichrist. Nobody can say another Woodrow Wilson or Franklin FDR or Franklin Roosevelt or Teddy Roosevelt or some other president like John F. Kennedy or Bill Clinton or George Bush or Ronald Reagan. They're the Antichrist because we associate 666 with them. Nobody associates 666 with Ronald Reagan. Nobody, maybe some French conspiracists, but with Obama it's different. Nobody associates 666 with Bill Clinton. Maybe some fringe conspiracists, but if you look at Wikipedia, there you don't see Bill Clinton 666 or something. But when Obama was elected, 666 came up, and everybody saw it. He was on the headline news. It was a special edition for Obama's victory. And right after that, after the weather, when they gave the weather, then the lottery, and it was 666, just at the same time as he had the headline special edition for his victory. So that's going to be in Wikipedia. I edited Wikipedia about 3 years ago. And I wanted to edit that the lottery drew 666 on the day of his victory, the day after his election, on his victory day. It was 666. I wanted to edit that. And the guys at Wikipedia said, no way, you're not going to do that. I said, well, why not? Why are you going to decide that I'm not going to say that Obama is the Antichrist? Or even if I say Obama looks like he's the Antichrist, or Obama might be the Antichrist, even if I'm not saying Obama is the Antichrist, or if I'm saying I think that Obama is the Antichrist. So I was limiting to what I was saying. Oh, they said, no, you're not going to talk. They said, you're not going to talk about Obama and the lottery at the same time. And they said, you're not going to edit. Because I said, okay, we'll forget that. I'm going to edit like the lottery page. there's the Illinois lottery page. I said, okay, I'm going to edit that. Or then there was one lady who made an article who said, hey, the lottery drew 666 the next day, and she was from Newsweek. She's a very famous editor. I said, well, I'm going to edit her page, or the Newsweek page. She worked for Newsweek. Or I said, well, I'm going to edit the Antichrist page, or I'm going to edit the page about 666. You know, I'm going to go somewhere in Wikipedia. I'm going to edit it. They said, no, well, they said, no, you're not going to edit anywhere that the lottery drew 666 in Illinois, in Chicago. I said, well, are you trying to hide something? Well, what's the big... I mean, why are you so upset? Why are you so upset that I'm saying that Obama's the Antichrist? You know, what I'm saying basically is, why would they protect Obama? I mean, Wikipedia is not supposed to be about opinions. It's not supposed to be about a personal opinion. If somebody says something, I mean, the person can say it, he says it, and those people are not supposed to say, you shouldn't say it like that or like that, you know. If they should say, that person speaks in that way or that way. They shouldn't say that person should not speak like that. They should not be infringing freedom of speech. They should not be voicing opinions and also formulating opinions. And they shouldn't be like handlers, you know, like treating us as if we're wild animals and they're taming us. Like Wikipedia editors, moderators, the people who get the final say on what is in Wikipedia or not, they're acting like they have to tame us, you know, like they don't like what we're saying, like we're like snakes, you know, and we have venom and something, and they like us as snakes and everything, and they like us as animals and wild lions, but they want to make us harmless, and so that they want to break us, you know, housebroken, so that we're okay, that we're tamed. They want to make us into tame animals. And it just doesn't work like that. Freedom of speech is not like that. If I'm going to use my freedom of speech, I don't want a handler or somebody who's putting a leash on me and telling me you're going to speak like this and think like this, and you're going to obey me. You know, I'm not going to obey them. I'm not going to obey Wikipedia. I mean, Wikipedia is just a bunch of garbage. They say that they're the encyclopedia and everything, you know, and that is completely wrong. All the encyclopedias go straight to the garbage can. You can look at the first guy who made an encyclopedia was, well, you know, people have been making encyclopedias since the time of the Romans and the Greeks, and people have been doing that on and on and on. And those things are always revised, and then afterwards they're abandoned. They're abandoned because they're archaic, and they have a worldview. Like the Romans, for example, wrote histories of the world, or the Roman histories of the world, and that was all crap. Everything was crap. The Romans, to begin with, made a calendar, and they started the calendar from them. You know, when Julius Caesar was born, that was year one, and you know, it's also always egocentric. If you look at histories which were written of people at the time of the Romans in other parts of the world, well, they don't give a damn about the Romans and Julius Caesar and what the Romans think, and the Italian Roman way of thinking about the world. They don't give a damn about it. If you look at the big empires of the same time, of the same period, you go to the Middle East. You go to the Middle East. You go to India. I've studied Indian literature and history for dozens of years. After my university studies, I studied Tibetan culture. Then I studied. I am familiar with the Indian history. They are not interested in Roman history. They don't give a darn about Roman history. So Wikipedia wants to influence me, and that just doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, anyways, I have talked about this miracle of 666. That 666 was drawn at the day of the victory of Obama. And that's a fact. I mean, nobody can argue that fact. That fact exists. Wikipedia doesn't argue the fact, but they say you will not edit that. They're saying you're not going to give it the spin to say that that's Obama's the Antichrist. But I don't have to say that. I can say everybody saw it, and everybody thought Obama must be the Antichrist. The people who live in Chicago play the lottery. They must, hey, this is crazy. This is a curse. It's a curse for Obama. That's what I'm saying. So anyways, now what is my role? I am making this video, I'm making the articles, and I'm bringing this news to people. So what is my role in all of this? My role is to be the reluctant messenger. That's what I'm saying in this article, because I'm the reluctant messenger because 666 seems like a heavenly miracle, because statistically it's impossible. But Christian people say this, if it's a miracle, if this is a miracle which came in the lottery, and the lottery, let's say, they all say that God spoke through the lottery. That's what Christians will say, because Christians consider that if there are miracles that happen, they come from God. But in Buddhism, for example, we don't believe in God. So we'll say that a miracle is like the blessing of Buddha, for example, or else we'll say it comes from some spirit, some worldly spirit, or we can say it comes from the Buddhist saints. You know, there are a lot of Buddhist saints, and the Buddhist saints can send that miracle. So that's how we'll interpret it. Everybody will interpret it in a different way. Like the Hindus will say that it comes from their Hindu gods, Shiva or Brahma or Vishnu. So I am not a Christian, and I don't follow the same ideas as the Christians, and I'm not favorable to Christianity. I don't approve of Christianity at all. Christianity does like religious wars, and I completely disapprove of that. Killing people in the name of Christianity, that's horrible. Buddhism and Hinduism have never made religious wars. If the Buddhists go to war and they kill people and they, they're making war, they don't say it's in the name of Buddhism. They say, unfortunately, we're killing people, and it goes against the principle of compassion. Buddha would not go and kill people, whereas in Christianity they say, oh no, the Christianity, they make religious war. Oh yeah, so that's in the name of religion. Now Christians have stopped doing that. They don't do religious wars anymore. Islam doesn't. Islam is the most horrible thing existing in the world. So anyway, I'm not going to digress, but Islam is the worst thing because it kills in the name of Islam. So I was saying I'm not favorable to Christianity for various reasons. I don't believe in God, and there are all kinds of things which make I'm not favorable. But I'm in a difficult position to criticize the Antichrist, because Christians say, yeah, well, you don't believe in Christ, you don't believe in God, you don't believe, so there's no reason for you to believe in 666. Why would a Buddhist talk about 666, whereas in Buddhism they don't talk about 666? So it sounds like you're out of your league, and you're out of your field, and you're not in your religion. You're talking about Christianity. That's not your religion. So how, if you don't believe in 666, how can you talk about an Antichrist? Because 666 is the number of the Antichrist. So how do you link 666 and Buddhism? And if you cannot link it, then you can't link then you can't use 666 for the Antichrist and criticize the Antichrist. Well, that's where I say, yeah, stop, hold your horses. That's where I say that's wrong, because what happens is, in my Tibetan Tantric Buddhism, the reason I'm follow Tibetan Tantric Buddhism is because it's the highest form of culture in the world. Okay, that's one thing. Now, the second thing is, in our Buddhism, we have an apocalypse prophecy. And the apocalypse prophecy is in a teaching which is called Kalachakra. Kalachakra, and behind me now, here, you can see this is the symbol, picture of Kalachakra. Kalachakra prophecy of the apocalypse, it says that the demon king, who's like, that means the Antichrist. We don't say the Antichrist, we call him the demon king. The demon king at the end of the times will be of Christian, Islamic, and Jewish mixed faith. He will have a strange faith, kind of mongrel faith, where he mixes Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, which is exactly what Obama does, Barack Obama. That's exactly what he does. He mixes Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and he also mixes like Hindu gods and stuff. He has a little amulet, a little statue, and he has various icons in his pocket, which he carries around. And one of them is a Hindu. So he mixes all this Hindu, Christian, Islamic, Jewish. Because Obama is like the Creole, the voodoo and the Creole, like down in the southern islands. They have, in voodoo, they mix everything. They just, whatever, whatever. They mix everything. Islam, Christianity, Judaism, they'll mix everything. You look at their altars, and they put candles and stuff, and they chop off chickens' heads, and then they put blood all over it and everything. That's voodoo. It's called voodoo. And they have all the gods there. You can have Hindu gods, Shiva, Buddha, everything. No problem. Just mix it all together. That's what Obama does. And in our Apocalypse prophecy, which goes back to, which was written in the 15th century. It was written in the 15th century, and it's very prophetic because it says it's describing exactly this mongrel mix of religions. So that's it. Because we have that description of this demon king, who is supposed to be Christian, Islamic, and Jewish already to start out with. So, seeing as Christian, that means that the Christian omen of the end times, 666, was announcing the Antichrist. Well, as a Buddhist, we're going to follow that. We're going to watch it. We're going to open our eyes for that. We're going to be on the lookout for that because it's in our prophecy. In our prophecy, we know that the Antichrist, like the demon king, is going to be a Christian. He's going to also be Muslim and also Jewish. So we just open the Christian book and say, okay, how are we going to recognize him? That's the thing. You see, this is the thing that people have to grasp. I'm a Buddhist, so I'm going to follow my instructions. It's like I'm going to visit a city, and so I buy the book to go on a tourist tour of the city. So I'm going to look for the Antichrist, so I'm going to take my Buddhist guidebook for how to find the Antichrist. Okay, so I find out he's a Christian. The Antichrist is a Christian. So it's just like I go to a city, and so I open the chapter. So I look at my guidebook. I'm going to visit like New York. And so it says, well, there are 5 boroughs, So there are 5 chapters. So if I'm going to go to Queens or to Brooklyn, I'm going to open my book at the Brooklyn or Queens chapter. So it says he's Christian, Islamic, and Jewish. Okay, so I'm going to open the Christian chapter. So I open the Bible and say, how can I find? It's like I'm in this city and I'm in Brooklyn and I'm trying to find my way around Brooklyn. So I'm looking for this right street. So what's the right street to go to? So they say, in the Christian prophecy, they say, if you're looking for the Antichrist, you got to find 666. You got to do this and this and this. And he's going to be like this. He's going to be lawless. He's going to be a man from nowhere. He's going to be a great deceiver. So I said, hey, that's really cool. Just open my guidebook and everything is there. So I opened the Bible and it says exactly how to find the Antichrist. He's going to be announced by 666. He's going to be a fraud. He's going to have this mixed religion, Christian, Islamic, Jewish. The whole guidebook is there. I'm just following the guidebook. So that's why I am the reluctant messenger, right? Because I'm a Buddhist. See, I'm just a guy from out of town and coming with this guidebook and I'm just coming into town. So people say, like I go to Brooklyn and people say, hey, you're not from Brooklyn. Yeah, I say, hey, obviously I'm not from Brooklyn. I'm a tourist. Look, I have my guidebook. I'm not saying I'm from Brooklyn. So people say, Christians say, you're not a Christian. I say, yeah, obviously I'm not a Christian. I'm not hiding that I'm not hiding that I'm not a Christian. I am not a Christian. I'm the person who's telling you I'm not a Christian. So I'm a guy from out of town. I'm here with my guidebook. I have my guidebook to find the Antichrist. So people are often like that. They live in Brooklyn. And I've seen that over and over again. I went to Egypt to see pyramids and to do all this tourist work. And I didn't study Egypt before I went there. And when I went there, we had a guide, and I felt like so stupid because we were visiting all these places and these pyramids and everything, and they were telling all this really interesting stuff about everything. And I had not done my homework, so I felt really stupid. And so it's the same way here. I talk to Christians about Obama 666 and the Antichrist and everything, and they say, hey, you're not Christian. You're not Christian, so you can't talk about it. But that's not how it works. I didn't know much about this stuff in Egypt, but I can tell you that the guys in Egypt, the Muslims, they don't know anything about these about the history of Egypt. Some of them do, but most of them don't. It's the same way if I go to Brooklyn and I'm visiting all these historical places and everything, and I'm doing the tour and I'm visiting, and then you get this ordinary Joe on the street. And he says, hey, I'm from Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. I know Brooklyn. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't go and visit the interesting places, see these historical buildings and everything. And I feel ashamed because sometimes I'm in my own city, and then I see a group of tourists coming by, and like the tourist guide is saying, hey, this is a historical building over here. And I've been walking on that street since like 20 years. I had no idea that this was a historical building. And it's the same thing. Sometimes you see some TV shows, and they show these really interesting things in a city, which you know, and you say, hey, my God, I had no idea that there was this famous painter, famous writer who lived in that building, and I know that building. I've walked by there so many times, but I had no idea about it. So what I'm saying is, no matter who is bringing you this information about Obama and 666, and I mean, what I'm telling people about my Buddhist prophecy, which was written in the 15th century in Tibet, it's fascinating. So if people say to me, hey, you can't know what you're talking about, I say, please, respectfully, close your mouth and shut up, because listen to the message when people tell you something, and don't tell people that they don't know anything. If you have a tour guide who has good knowledge, he's telling people very precious things, then don't be like the Brooklyn dork who says, hey, I'm from Brooklyn, and I know Brooklyn better than anybody else. You don't do that, because it makes you look stupid. So I'm reluctantly bringing this Christian message to everybody, and I'm not trying to brainwash Christians and tell them, hey, you guys, I'm going to teach you about God and everything. I'm bringing them information which is hitting them whammo, and they don't know where it's coming from. It's like a punch to the stomach, and they're completely, I cut the wind out of them. I cut their breath so that they're breathless. They don't know what hit them. This information is very interesting information. When you get this information, don't reject it. Go for it. Go for the information, bite the bullet, and jump on the bandwagon and get with this information. And don't go into this denial, saying that you know better than whatever. I mean, whatever information I'm giving, if people talk about the information I'm giving, I know I'm talking to good people. If people tell me, I don't want to listen to your information, I know that those people are in denial. And if people say that they know better than me, why not? I'm ready to listen to anybody. I talk to people all the time, but most of the information which people give me is just crap. People talk to me about the New World Order. People tell me Pope Francis is the Antichrist. I mean, give me one proof which holds water, something that's a valid proof. That people don't give me any kind of valid proof about what's his name, Pope Francis. They talk about, there's a guy called David Icke. He talks about bloodlines and stuff. And there are a lot of conspiracy fringe theories who say a lot of crazy things, and people believe that there are these half-baked theories and pseudo philosophies. I don't buy any of that. Here, before I'm going to leave you people, let's take a look at this picture of this lady. See this lady? She's standing somewhere, maybe in front of the White House, and she says, the Antichrist is living in the White House. So, okay, people. I'm going to leave you at that. I hope that this was a good video. I have talked about things which I've never talked about. So, I think this may be a first. So, I'll see you later, and I hope this worked out good. Bye-bye.